other thing that we have coming up is our craft fair, our annual craft fair. You've probably seen these signs around town. The Parent Club sponsors that, and a majority of the proceeds that are generated from that go right into our Parent Club. So we'd like to invite you guys to come on December 3rd. It's at the school, and there's usually a lot of good food and entertainment, and it's wonderful to browse and meet at the tables. There's a lot of well-talented community members. With that, we have had a fundraiser starting October 5th. The girls graciously donated a portion of their sales that night to our Parent Club, so we've already started out the school year with fundraisers. And finally, I'm just really pleased with everything that we have been able to do. We have a very good spirit in our Parent Club, and a lot of the parents are really actively involved and want to see each one of these students in our schools succeed. And we have a good communication between staff and parents and students, which makes it even better for us to support programs in the schools. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, take a breath, take a breath. Amy talked about the clothes closet, and notice today on our wall we have a barometer for a glove drive that we're doing right now. One of our current student teachers, as part of her class, is doing a glove drive, and all the classes are bringing in gloves, and so our children are using them at recess time, and it's just a wonderful thing that she's providing there, and our kids are taking part in learning how to give to others. You may notice that a lot of what Amy's been talking about really didn't relate so much to academic scores and how our children are doing. You can read about those, and I think that we're doing a wonderful job now. But we're really focused on being a neighborhood school and how we can serve our community in other ways besides the curriculum that we teach our students. What are other life's lessons that we can teach them? And also, how can we help them become healthier? Not only mentally, but physically as well. And that's why I asked Meg to join me tonight. One of the things we started last year was a mileage club where our children run before school, at lunchtime. We already had one student run over an equivalent of a marathon in just those times before and during lunchtime. So, figuring that out in the days that we've had and children able to run, he's running over a mile a day, to do that. And then we've got other kids that, of course, are trying to catch Eddie, but, they're doing a great job of doing it. And why I asked Meg to come is because this year we implemented kind of a new schedule with trying to figure out, okay, how can we best serve our kids with a halftime TV, halftime music? Are there some better ways of doing that? Are there some better models? And Meg and Rachel Flugan, some music teachers currently at Ashby right now, came up with a plan for doing a semester in one building and then flipping a schedule and doing a semester in another building. I would have thought that. And so we really are working at some consistency with the curriculum and getting to know the children better, just the flow of how things go. And so because of that, we've been able to offer some things this year, lunchtime activities, extensions of what's going on in the classroom during lunchtime. This year, we're just concluding a wellness week in which Meg set up our gym. She said she wanted me to tell her everything that she usually answers. Set up our gym for an obstacle course, which is all loved, and they were working on different skills, and today we concluded that with some wellness testing. Similar to when I was in school, we did the residential fitness testing, real similar to hopefully can go as smoothly as we hope to. When you're hoping for lots of volunteer help, and Monday mornings just sometimes people forget. But Meg did a wonderful job of accommodating that, and our fifth graders were helping building that have a real desire to see some things going on with that. Francie Zandel this year received a grant from St. Mark's Association that she applied for over the summertime. And so she's been offering some play classes for our children. They sign up for and take those classes, and it's just so well received. It's like, see, I got kids on the waiting list, and we can't do. So we're trying to figure out ways to get all of those children through and do those things. I've got Debbie Anderson, who retired last year, is coming back and going to be doing some quilting things with some of our students. We've got Christy Bandit Creek is doing some cooking classes with the children, and crafts and art things. And then Kathy Boyaharski, who retired last year, is coming in twice a week and working with all of our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders and doing some different types of art activities that will be for you to purchase at our craft fair. So come see what they're doing here. Lots of other things I can talk about, but I'd like to just answer any questions. Oh, I do want to say I didn't mention, and I'm looking over here, our wonderful smart leaders again this year, working with our students. We're serving all of our kindergarten students again this year. It's 3 days, over 60 students getting half an hour for some one-on-one meeting with them. And they were so excited last week, they got to take home their first book. And Mr. Tiller, look at you. Wow, that's great. Questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We typically get a tax turnover once a month, and in November we get one every week. And those monies go directly into the local government investment pool, which is, for lack of a better word, it's kind of where our savings account is. That is an interest-bearing government account. So that's where the money resides, and we use it throughout the year. I'd like to draw your attention to lines 18 and 19, and these are our expenditures. And as we get further into the year, we can see any potential or reduction to expenditures that might be happening. We still work under the assumption that we may spend every penny we get in revenues, but as we get encumbrances and benefits all settle down after open enrollment, which happens in October, get a little bit better picture of where savings might be, and so that's why you'll see a variance in those columns. This district is historically underspends budgeted expenditures, and that is a good place to be. We always strive to live within our revenues, and as I watch this every month, I see that we're doing a very good job of that. We also continue to need to be prepared for the unexpected. And there will be a revenue forecast coming out in November. They're doing, I believe, quarterly. They have specific timelines where they come out. So November 17th, I believe, is expected to be a quarterly revenue forecast. And it's also a little prayer. Any questions? changes to our budgeted expenditures with the offering of the HSA and HRA. We had outstanding participation, and I did report low numbers last month. We did have 28 participants in the opt-out program, which is called the Health Retirement Account, and 24 participants in the savings account, and they are two different programs. And so I won't read it for you. I'm sure you had a chance to take a look at it. So are there any questions about the budgeted changes to the current budget? Thank you. And I believe I've probably already covered the on-performance piece.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, that will take us to our superintendent report. Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. The November 1 deadline for districts to withdraw from the ESD has come and gone. Subsequent to that date, I met last week with the other superintendents in the region. Most of the districts made the same decision as this board, and that is was to remain with the ESD. But there is lots of negotiating going on. My experience has been that in the years I was gone, there was a radical change in the way the ESD operated from the time I was here before, even prior to this latest legislation. So we know that there are 5 or 6 districts that are going to withdraw completely from the ESD, but there will be something like 16 of us left. A couple big issues that I'm dealing with on that level, and it takes a bit of explanation, so bear with me for a moment. The money that the ESD receives on behalf of our students from the state, they receive in the form of average daily membership weighting. When you look at our school district, we have about 2,800 students, but our average daily membership weighting is about 3,400. And what that means is that not all of our students have the same weighting by the state. The state recognizes that some students are more expensive than others to educate. So special education, for example, some of those students receive a weight of 1. They get a regular contribution and then another contribution on top of that for that student. So over the years, of many years, that's how the state has provided money to serve our students. The ESD has distributed that back to the schools by ADMR. ADMR is the exact number of students we have in the district. Yes, you see the problem. Now, one of the things that has happened over time is that there are relatively few districts that would benefit from having the money distributed ADMW, and relatively more districts that would benefit from having it distributed ADMR. One of the things that the law did when it said districts may withdraw is that when they withdraw, they go with ADMW. That's the money they take out of the system. My position, and I'm hoping you agree with me, is that if we remain, the funding mechanism has to change. We have been outvoted because we are one of just a handful of districts that would benefit from ADMW. And I don't intend that we should be outvoted this time. And so what I've essentially said to them is that's going to change. And I hope that I have the board's understanding and support.